Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have the original favorite. There's several favorites now, but we all know the original is our favorite.
Yeah.
Our delight, our blue-eyed beauty.
Thank you.
Chris Franjola.
Thank you. You also have to. Okay, yeah, but enough of this. You know,
Enough.
we all love each other.
Okay, I want people to just immediately get excited.
But
okay?
I want everyone to know that I'm a male also, which is very hard for me to climb the ranks of favorite as a man.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not a great time for your kind.
No, exactly. I'm a straight white man, which
And
is
old.
Yeah, old. I know. Like everything is stacked against me.
But you're still making it. You're still doing it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
still
sure.
thriving on Juicy Scoop, which is all that matters.
Okay, yes. I love Juicy Scoop. This is the only thing I'm thriving on, and I love it for that reason.
Thank you. Well, we were just talking about stand-up. We're going to start the show. I just did stand-up for the first time since March 8th.
That's crazy.
And, you know, I was trying to figure out all the things I could talk about because I didn't want to do bits from my special that people saw. And then there were some other bits that I was getting into in March that then didn't really apply to today.
Yeah, anything like, I was at a party. Or yeah, you can't do any of that.
So I went back and was listening to the last audio because I taped my audio at the Palm Beach Improv. And it was just when things were getting weird.
Yeah.
I had 3 VIP tables empty. Like they had decided that day, like, we're just not going to come.
Yeah.
Because it was March 8th. And in that hour or whatever that I did, I said, this might be the last time I perform for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And so then this weekend, went to the Tempe Improv. Best stand-up experience of my life. From beginning to end.
Why?
Started out October 29th. That's Drake's birthday. Okay.
Okay, right.
So, but I still had time to make him a huge breakfast.
I saw the videos, yes.
And then, I did a little day in the life,
Yeah.
which is something they're doing on TikTok. So I had to do all the video, and then I had to send it to Kelly. She puts it together. Then I had to do the monotone voice.
Yeah.
So check out my Instagram or TikTok.
How do you feel, are you comfortable with the bacon intake over the McDonald's house? I feel like there's a lot of bacon being served at the McDonald's house.
I told Drake, because no one's working out.
Okay.
And I did say, now you're like a full-blown 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to get fat.
Uh-huh.
Right, so like we have to we can't have dessert every night. You can't have crap every day. Today we had thin sliced turkey, just like you put on a sandwich.
Sure.
And only 1 egg because I only had
That's
2.
Not so bad.
So each one got 1. But normally they'd have 2.
So
it was a smaller breakfast.
Yeah.
We have also stopped the second breakfast, which is the chocolate chip waffle.
Oh, wow.
When they were both at home with Zoom school, but now Brandon goes to, he's one of 10% of the kids that goes to the Zoom school at school.
Right.
The only other kid there is Joe Coy's son.
Oh, wow.
Just the 2 comedian sons that can't pay attention are alone at that school. Okay.
Now, wait. When does the second breakfast served? Right after the first breakfast?
It was going between 2 different Zoom classes. About a 10 a.m. breakfast delight.
This is not a waffle you make. This is stick it in a toaster.
No, this is a waffle machine.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.
With chocolate chips.
Yeah.
A lot of calories.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to cut back on that a little bit. So I took Jet Suites.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people ask about Jet Suites. It is, at least if you're going to like Phoenix or Vegas, there aren't as many choices as the Southwest. But honestly, it's like, I think I got the whole thing for $240.
Round trip.
Yes.
Wow.
And people don't understand what it is. It's like a small private airport. You don't have to worry about the 4-ounce thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just I don't know if they just check you out and know that you're not a terrorist. I don't know. I don't know how they check my bags, but they did not go through a thingamajig. Does not go through the X-ray.
And what airport do you leave from?
Just like off some sad street in Van Nuys, Burbank area.
Right by my house.
More Burbank than your house.
Yeah, no, I know.
But not far from
the one you're talking
Not
about.
far from the Burbank airport.
Yeah.
Wear a mask, get on it.
Right.
So quick and easy. I stepped it up and agreed to have like a real driver all weekend. So I wasn't like having random
like the kid
Uber
from the
people.
club driving you.
So I had the 70-year-old classy black man that dropped knowledge every time we got in the car.
He was dropping about
Dropping
what?
knowledge about life. He'd been married for 50 years.
Still
to
married?
a Mexican woman. Yeah.
Okay.
He has successful children. We talked about politics. We talked about, he's like, I've been through a lot of elections. Like, it was just really, and he'd do all these like crazy analogies. So then I said, can you pick me up for Saturday night, which I'm not performing. We're only going to this place, Oceans 44, just so my sister and her friend could like meet this man just dropping knowledge. I'm like, I just want you to meet him because it's just like so fabulous. Okay, so then go to my hotel, which my sister, her friend works for the corporation that owns this hotel.
Right.
So just as I'm about to get on the plane, I get a text from my sister's friend, Michelle, who's now my friend, who's coming with her from Palm Springs. Our reservation was canceled, heart and throat, because they've moved us to a 2-bedroom living suite in a special area. Anyway, it was fat. So I had this big, huge place. Then when I did the stand-up, Julie was there. I was nervous, but it was also really freeing just to know that, like, I wasn't as hard on myself because usually it's kind of more memorized, but it couldn't be. Yeah. So I just freaking loved it. And after I was done with Thursday night, I'm like, I'm freaking back.
So you just winged it. Just kind of, let's talk about some stuff.
I had like notes, but yeah, I definitely winged a lot. So then the next night was totally different, pretty different. Like I was like, oh, I should have told that story from Thursday. Oh, well, time's up. Like it was just like fun. And then, and it was half full. But because it was normally, you know how it's
half full because it has to be.
Because of COVID. But normally when they do half full at the clubs, if you're half full, they would shove everybody close to the stage, tight together, so that they could utilize less waitresses.
Right.
But then, if you're only half full, as the comic, you look out and see all the empty spots, and you see the empty spots in the balcony. Right. But this way, being half full but spread out because of COVID, it was kind of great because it felt more full.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking everywhere, and there were people everywhere. Right. And so it was just great. And I just I was like, wow. Now I really feel sad for my friends who are stand-ups that really do like stand-up. Because you get to a place, I compare it to something that you can't totally relate to.
I cannot.
Because you're not a woman.
Okay.
But when I was pregnant both times, the hardest thing is when you have to give up alcohol.
Oh, sure.
And then around the 5th or 6th month, the doctor goes, oh, you can have a glass of wine now. And you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't really miss it anymore. That is what I think stand-up has been for a lot of people like us.
So now you're
like
back.
If you go so long, you're kind of like, I don't care if I ever do it again. I'm fine. Yeah. Like I don't miss it because it's so long. Like just like you gave up alcohol.
Yeah.
That you're like, and you're not going to the bar where it's being offered to you. There's no way to do it. And then when you finally go, okay, I'm going to do it in a safe environment for me, not safe for everybody, but I was comfortable with it. Then you're like, oh, this is really fun.
Don't you also feel like what you do here, kind of like scratches the stand-up itch a little bit?
I mean,
thank
God.
This is like performing in a way.
Yeah. I say, I got to be creative, 3 days a week this whole time.
Right.
So it's not like I didn't, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel so weird. But the actual like getting on stage and, that weird thing. But, some of our friends may never go back.
I know a few.
And some clubs are never going to reopen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know a few.
I know a few people who aren't going back. I know a few clubs that aren't opening again.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, I don't know what's going to become of the clubs. Like if someone else will just buy them and make it a comedy club, or people are just going to be, we're done with the comedy business. Like it could be.
It's kind of interesting because it kind of might be done because it goes in waves. It became really popular like in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. And then there was a big slump in like the early 90s, which is when I started to get into it. And they're like, we're in a comedy slump. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I feel like in the last like 6 years, there's been like a boom.
Yeah, it's been
like
booming.
With all the Netflix specials and with all the different live venues and different places to do it. And podcasting, so there weren't just 5 comics people knew about. Now people know about 30 that they can like be familiar with. Like it just opened it up. But now it's like, I don't know.
Back to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I think you said it. I mean, we could be silent movies, where
Yeah.
there were people hanging on to silent movies too when the talkies came out. They're like, I don't know, I don't think it's going to catch on, and then they were homeless 6 months later. So that might be the case.
Well, it's also like, if you get the joy from doing a podcast or a YouTube video or social media videos and stuff, and you're getting that satisfaction from immediately 100 comments saying you're hilarious. Do you need to get on a plane?
No.
And stand in front of people?
And also, do the people a lot of comedians say we're essential. It's essential comedy. Like, is it though? Do people really need this in their lives? Like, to go out to the funny bone? Like, I'm happy that they do. I love that they do, but I don't know if we're considered essential.
I have to say, after doing it, and I think from the people that came, I think it does make you feel like alive again.
Okay.
Just like going out, or just like the first time you met with another family in the backyard.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, I feel alive again,
Right, but we'll talk again.
Yes.
After you do...
But after I have a bad weekend?
No, not after a bad weekend. This is your first one back in 9 months. So
and it was the most pleasant experience.
Yeah.
From the beginning. I also, Drake drove me there. Peter picked me up from Jet Suite.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to be... Also, not LAX.
Right.
Besides it being a beautiful place, I only had one show a night.
Yeah.
Then Saturday, we were free all day, went to the spa, went to Oceans
See, this
44
is not the way
when a Juicy Scooper gave me a $100 gift card to enjoy there.
Oh.
Christina, Peter, we didn't get a return address. I don't know her last name.
Okay.
But Christine, Juicy Scooper, sent me a $100 gift card for my birthday to use at Oceans 44, which I did Saturday night.
What is Ocean for? Like a restaurant?
Like a Mastro's. But it's only in that Scottsdale area.
That sounds nice.
So the whole thing, then I didn't leave till 4 o'clock. Then my sorority sister hung out, checked
and this
out.
is what? So you didn't have a show on Halloween?
Didn't have a show on Halloween. Wore little cat ears, and it's still a slutty outfit. I got these great high-waisted shorts. I wore this bodysuit that was flattering, just black ears, thigh-high boots. Still my one last slutty time.
Well, here in Los Angeles, the gays and whoever else must have just been just completely distraught, because everything about this Halloween was perfect. The weather couldn't have been more perfect. It was warm at night, which is very rare for Halloween.
Because
here.
Nothing was worse when I was growing up. Because I was a hooker in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I was a hooker on roller skates.
Right.
In 3rd grade. So I never wanted to have to wear a coat. That ruins your outfit for trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
So we had the perfect weather. We had it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
We won the World Series.
You talking about this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
LA won the World Series.
Yeah.
And we won the Lakers thing.
Yeah. The Lakers won as well.
Yeah. Okay. We won both.
Uh-huh.
And we have perfect weather. And it's a Saturday.
And a Saturday night.
And Gavin said we couldn't go out.
Full moon.
Full moon.
And it was called another thing called a blue moon or something, whatever that means. Full blue moon. And like Santa Monica Boulevard would have just been, because normally that's where the big party is.
Right. Yeah.
It would have
West
been
Hollywood.
insane down there. However, I don't know what happened. They couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it, though. People did have some parties. So let's first, I want to just talk about, now this was not a Halloween costume.
No.
This is something you posted.
Yes.
And I want you guys to go on my YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube page, because you get to see all of this in the photos we're talking about. Is this you, or is this someone that just looks like you?
It's me.
It is you.
Yeah, put through
aged in an
an age app. Yeah.
So you gave yourself a mustache.
I didn't give myself. Josh Wolf did it.
He did it?
Josh Wolf I guess he's losing his mind. And he got
Has he also given up stand-up for life?
No, he's still doing stand-up. As a matter of fact, the thing he wrote me when he sent this to me, he goes, "This is what we'll look like when we finally stop doing stand-up on the road." So Josh made it, and he sent it to me, and I thought it was hilarious. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. So many people thought it was another person who looked like me.
I thought it was another. So that's what I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was an age app.
Yeah.
Or if someone found somebody that really was a weather guy in a small market.
No, that's what I wrote that, saying that I would eventually be a weather guy in a small market. It looks exactly like a family friend of ours. His name's Jimmy McGee. He's my mom and dad's friend.
Jimmy McGee is a great name.
I mean, this looks almost exactly like him. I said to my mother, she's like, "Is that Jimmy McGee?" I'm like, "No, it's me. We're doing an age app." So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. This came up in Peter's Facebook from 10 years ago.
Wow. how
exactly
things-
10 years ago. I went as Kris Jenner. We went to the Kardashians' house. I dressed up
Yes.
as Kris Jenner. You had been Bruce when he won the Olympics. I took the outfit
Yes.
from Chelsea Lately,
Uh-huh.
and Peter went as Bruce, and Bruce was there.
That's
Caitlyn
amazing.
was there, but at that time, Caitlyn was dressed as Bruce.
And Bruce, in this picture, Bruce has his real
Yeah,
medal.
actual medal. And I remember we got there, and we had the fake medal from the costume department, and Caitlyn was saying to Kris, "Where is my medal? Where is my medal?" You know, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't know. Like, I'm getting food together and stuff." But then she got it and then wore it too.
Did you see Caitlyn's costume this year?
No, what was it?
Oh my! I don't know. It was terrifying.
What
it was
was
like
it?
it was like a bearded zombie. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
bearded.
Yeah, he
Can
had
you
like
look it up?
He had like a she. No, she had a beard drawn on her face.
That's kind of strange.
The
of
whole
a choice.
thing. It was, but I don't
Can
know
you-
what it was supposed to be.
Well, her daughter Kendall had a big party that she got shit for. She said it was 100 people, which is more than the 10 that were allowed in.
Okay.
And she went as Pamela Anderson in Barbed Wire.
Yes.
And her lips have now been enhanced, but then she enhanced them with makeup. And she did the skinny eyebrows from the 90s. And I don't know how anybody walking in, unless they knew that's what she was, could even walk up to this person and be like, Kendall. I mean, she looks so different.
Different. I know. I saw a bunch of different pictures of it, and she looked like a completely different person.
They're all getting slammed. They got slammed for this. They got slammed for Kim's
the
island, where everyone was supposedly COVID tested. They went on a private plane to a private island.
Yeah.
What,
I don't know. I mean, I guess they just take the slamming, right?
You just take the slamming, but I'm also just like, okay, so you're telling me this person that's writing an angry thing, tone deaf party, you get an email from a text from Kim, and she says, in 2 weeks, I'm going on a private plane with my friends. You're invited. All I ask is that you do a COVID test now. You quarantine and take a COVID test right before you get on the plane.
Right.
And if we're all good, then we're all good. And everybody at the Fiji place, all the staff is being tested.
Yeah. And they did it.
And they did it.
I know. I don't have any
know. What are you
problem with
gonna
it.
do? Never.
I think people were more upset about the fact that they were, flaunting their wealth during these uncertain times, which doesn't. I don't. And none of it. I understand that the Kardashians have money. It's not shocking to me that they can go on to private islands with private jets.
They should just be like,
I know.
On today's Kardashians, we're gonna make bologna sandwiches
No,
ourselves.
I got it. Yeah, none of it bothered me. I
mean, it is what it is, and don't follow them anymore.
What bothers me is the fact that anytime you do anything now on any type of social media where there's more than 4 people, you have to write 3 paragraphs of how safe you did it. And I'm like, you know what? Just save it. Just you had a party. Whether you did it, whether it was right or wrong, you had a party. You know?
Yeah, like swipe to the right to see our COVID tests.
Yeah.
And to see the way the staff was situated, and to see the chairs that were separated. I mean, it's fun. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
That's
wow.
Yeah. That's Caitlyn's costume.
A very interesting choice.
I know. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
I mean,
she made a video of it.
Yeah.
And it was real. It was scary.
So she wanted to be scary.
She didn't want to be sexy. She called herself like zombie. Yeah. Skeletina. But that doesn't look like a skeleton.
Did she go to Kendall's party?
Yes. At least that's what I read. That was going to Kendall's party.
And Jeffree Star had a big party.
I don't know who that is.
Jeffree Star is this makeup maven YouTube star who has tons of tattoos, long nails.
Okay.
Wears wigs and makeup.
Yeah.
But still is a man, lives as a man.
Oh, okay.
And has a ton of money.
And who went to that party?
And he had, I don't know. I guess it was a competing party. I don't know. Probably a lot of people were invited to both and had to choose one.
Wow.
Which one would you go to?
I would definitely go to this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I definitely go to Kendall Jenner's. Okay.
Yeah.
So at this party, I guess this is the party because Scott Disick went. And they said that Scott Disick went with his date, who is Lisa Rinna's 19-year-old daughter. But there's talk of saying did they really go together? We don't know.
Okay.
She's dressed extremely skimpy.
Very,
and
but
she's
it was
19.
once again a perfect night for the skimpy outfits.
I mean, of
It was
course, that's why I did
beautiful.
it one last time.
Yeah.
I did it I say one last time, but every year I'm sucked back in to just go a little sexy.
And Lisa and his daughter, she has some candy in her bag there.
Yeah.
Well, she's like a kid. So probably
No, I think she's supposed to be a piece of candy.
Oh, she
This is a candy bra. Remember those necklaces that
Oh,
you
she had
eat?
I read this.
She had a
Yes,
candy
yes.
bra
It was one of those
made.
candy necklaces. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's Ace Ventura.
Yes. And so, he just ended a couple-year relationship with Sophia
Richie.
who he met when she was 18 and he was 35. Now she's 21 and he's 38. Is he now going for yet another 19-year-old?
How is he still
question.
involved in the family? I thought that, is he just involved because he's a cast member of the show? Or
I think that the sisters all really like him. They
Oh,
enjoy
okay.
him. And they really are all about family. I mean, they are the most forgiving to the men that have done them wrong.
Yeah.
They will always invite them to the birthday parties. There's never a problem if you want to come see the kids.
Is Lamar invited to things? I don't see him around.
No, but they didn't have a kid together.
Oh, that's right.
But I think if they would have had a kid together,
Yeah.
they would have still brought him around.
That's true.
But then once she had a kid with someone else, she was like, okay, we've all done our due diligence,
Yeah.
goodbye. We don't need to keep
Can I ask
Yes.
about the island that they went to?
Yes.
Now, I saw pictures of Scott there on the island.
Yeah.
However, I did not see Caitlin on the island, nor did I see Kylie on the island.
I believe that both of them did not go.
Oh.
Kylie did not go. And you know what? She just probably was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, how is that fun? Also, I heard they had to do a sunrise cruise.
Sunrise cruise.
Yeah, like wake up, get on the boat at 5. We're going to go out and
Yeah.
all see the sunrise together.
No.
And when
Yeah.
Queen Bee's paying,
Right.
you better be up.
You gotta
and
go.
you better
Oh, I've been
be
forced
at-
to do things like
Yes,
that.
you
Yeah.
better be up at the sunrise cruise.
Yeah. Now, when did the father Kardashian as his hologram?
Oh, so here we go
was
with
that
the
on
hologram.
island?
The hologram of Robert Kardashian was presented at the island party.
Okay, I watched it.
So did I. And
Did
my favorite part
Yeah,
was towards the end.
when he says,
And you married the most
Yeah.
generous-iest man, most
Yeah.
genius man.
yeah, but that was
Kanye
like the
West.
joke, right? That was Kanye's joke. But then Kanye
was
said,
it a joke?
I think he was a kid. I saw him laughing when he said
Okay.
it. But also, he says something about a pussy fart in it or something,
A what?
right? Am I not? Yes.
Wait.
Peefy.
Hold on, wait a minute.
He has the father
There-
say,
hey, say
I
what?
was always cool when you did a peefy. And I looked up peefy, and it's pussy fart. I know. I'm sorry, everybody.
That's what it meant. But that's what people were.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I'm gathering
but
is
is Kanye wrote the
right.
What,
So
he's like, what's-
Kanye, but I mean, do you imagine if then because the Kardashians have had so many psychic readings from Tyler Henry to so many over the years.
Yeah.
They have psychic readings and Robert always comes through and says, you're going to miss that tennis court. I told you that you'd miss that tennis court in the Beverly Hills house, on Tower Road or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't you wish you were playing, and it would be like these details. Do you think that Robert's like, the next time they do a psychic reading, please don't put words in my mouth.
Yeah,
Please don't
please
put
don't
words.
make me talk about pussy farts, please. I'm a lawyer. I'm a legitimate person. I don't know. The thing was kind of creepy.
I thought it was really creepy. And then the way but I mean, hey, what do you get the woman who has everything? More
Not
diamonds?
that. Not
more
that.
More diamonds that can be stolen by French thieves?
Now, your father has passed. My father is
Yes.
still with us. I would like to say, if and when my father passes, I don't ever want to see him ever come back at a party. He's not going to say fun things like this guy said. You need a saleable skill. Like, yeah, what would your father just be yelling about?
No, I think the outfit that they put him in is like these pants and this white shirt that like kind of was the last time that I have him photographed in like kind of being put together.
Your father?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, cause then it was just like velour sweatsuits till the end, But
Yeah.
like this was like, he actually like had like a button down collared shirt.
Uh-huh.
And I think that he'd probably be like, he used to like always do this little like dance, he like
Okay.
put out his foot and there she is, Miss America. And I think, if someone was to do that for me, it would probably just be like,
Well, here he is.
yeah,
I kept walking in.
Chris
Right?
did it.
Here I am.
But people were saying like, again, with the haves and the have-not, the incredible wealth, like as people are losing their loved ones to
Right.
COVID, like you actually are getting, but again, what I think, I don't know. Then they said the family like were alone with the hologram for a while, and
Got to ask you questions. and
I
stuff?
don't
But
know.
it can't talk to you. It only,
It's it's the
yeah, it's like a,
um
listen, it's great
I-
technology. It's amazing technology. It's a little off, It's obviously the body of someone else.
it's the body of someone else doing that had to be like the height, I guess, and then taking old tapes and everything of his voice and getting the words to then be exactly his voice.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine like the man hours, and I think that it really is. I don't know. I don't. I think it's strange, but they just continue to surprise us as a family. They just
it's
really
true.
do.
Like when I
Caitlin
heard
wearing a bearded thing is surprising.
Skeletana.
This is, and this is surprising. So they just continue to surprise us as a family.
Do you think they all get together and just laugh about all this? Like these people are actually, like, I think they're all in on it in a way. Like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that later on they might, like as sisters, they have
Yeah.
that chemistry of just being like, yeah, like kind of laugh about it, but also know that like the intention was like so sweet and pure to like think of that idea and be like, I'm the first one, and knowing that it would just be seen so many times and go so viral. And he always wants to be known as like the greatest husband, the greatest father, so like he had to think of something that Offset and Cardi B weren't going to do next week.
Right.
I mean, maybe they will now, but like, we've seen Cardi B give Offset a refrigerator full of cold money. We've seen him give her, 12 billion
Aren't
bags.
didn't they get divorced?
No, they got back together.
Oh, good.
So, like, we've all seen the showing of money
Yeah.
with these people. So Kanye was like, what can I do to like up the ante?
What about like a Starbucks gift card? Everybody, like, they love the Starbucks, those Kardashians. They're just like us. I also watched her on David Letterman's
Yes.
the Netflix special.
And what'd you think? Because a lot of people have seen that too.
Did you watch it?
I have not, but I've seen clips and everything. So tell me your opinion.
Well, I'll say this. David Letterman, who I love back in the old days, he comes off like he's very old. He comes off like
Well, that beard isn't helping.
yeah, and it's also like,
Yeah.
what's up now? How do you, what is Instagram? And a lot of that. Like they go to a Rite Aid or CVS
Yes.
throughout it. They keep intercutting from the.
They're just shopping at a
They're
Rite Aid?
shopping. That's
Okay.
Letterman does the thing where he'll do the interview, then he'll do like walk around in real life with the people, and they'll intercut the two.
Okay.
I guess the thing with Kim was like, what's he gonna do? Like with some people, he goes to the places they grew up and stuff.
Right.
But with her, that's not really that interesting. So they went to a CVS where she was looking for pens to take her law test or something.
Yeah.
And she comes off cute and fun and kind
Yeah.
of normal. And
Yeah.
she tells the Paris story, which I didn't really know the details of that. When
Yes.
she got robbed in Paris. And that was kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't realize how
Terrifying it was.
terrifying it was. I mean, she was alone.
No, it
like
was
naked.
It was
and,
completely. I mean, yes, because
and they had
right
guns
from the start,
and were gonna kill her or thought they were gonna kill her.
and being a mother and alone, and like, and the sisters had gone with a bodyguard to the nightclub, and and to wake up and to have like guns. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had true night dreams like that, and I have to tell myself like, wake up, this is so scary. I can't imagine if it was real. So, and they never did find the people, right?
No, I mean, no, they did. They were older men,
Like professional.
and they're in the late 70s or something. Several of the guys. So, but they had been following her for like years, knowing exactly what she was going to do, and they saw the ring on Instagram or something and knew where it was going to be there. So anyway, they talk about that a little. It was interesting. It's interesting that the family still goes to everything. They were all in the audience, which I thought was interesting.
That they
The two parts I think, and she also talked about the first time she walked in on Caitlyn,
right.
which was very interesting. Like, Caitlyn was dressed at the time Bruce,
Right.
dressed like Caitlyn in a garage or something. You probably know the story, right?
Well, no, but I've seen that part, but I also know the
Yeah.
story because she's told it a few times.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what to do. And I
She
guess
like
she
ran to Courtney's house
and revealed it and did, but nobody ever said anything about it. And I understand because it was such an unusual thing. It wasn't catching your dad cheating with a woman or a man.
Right.
I mean, it was this, 10, 15 years ago even made it more confusing to somebody. So,
Oh, I would imagine it's shocking.
and also, do you want to tell your mom this? Do you want to,
Yeah.
break this image or whatever? And yeah. Okay. So
It was
no
nice to see everyone
hologram for
again.
you.
No, I find it to be a little creepy.
So this is pretty juicy. So Megan Fox, as you know, has 3 boys with Brian Austin Green
Yes.
from 90210. And she is now, madly in love with Machine Gun Kelly. And they're in a movie together.
They're in a movie together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know
And-
they're in love.
They're madly in love. And so Brian Austin Green posted a photo of him in his costume and one of the kids. And Megan Fox immediately wrote, "Why does Journey, that's the child's name, have to be in this picture? It's not hard to crop them out or choose photos that they aren't in. I had a great Halloween with them yesterday, and yet notice how absent they are from my social media. I know you love your kids, but I don't know why you can't stop using them to posture via Instagram. You're so intoxicated with feeding the pervasive narrative that I'm an absent mother and you are the perennial, eternally dedicated dad of the year. You have them half the time. Congratulations. You truly are a remarkable human. Why do you need the internet to echo back to you what should be exhaustively evident in the way your children love you?" Wow. Fucking brilliant. I love it. I think it's
Right.
very obvious that he's hurt that they're no longer together. I think it's very obvious that he has put that out there via Instagram and social media that there was a couple really strong digs in the beginning of their relationship where she did a post of Machine Gun and she's like, "Beautiful boy."
Yeah.
And then he went and posted a photo of their 3 sons and was like, "Beautiful boys."
I remember that. Yeah.
And it was like, so I kind of like that she was like, "We got it. You deserve a medal as dad of the year. You have the kids half the time. So do I. Why do either of us have to, But that it always is like that.
I'm going to side with Brian Austin Green on this
Okay.
one because
fine.
the Beautiful Boys one, I thought when you have 3 boys out there who could probably one day happen upon your pictures of your boyfriend
Okay.
on Instagram, I was like, I don't know, you're a mother now of 3 boys. I don't think you should be posting Beautiful Boy on Insta. Like, I don't know. I don't even think you should be posting like if you. This should have been something you texted to Brian Austin Green. Hey, why is Journey in this picture?
You're right. You're right. She didn't.
So
have
this
to,
is just doing exactly what he's doing.
Right.
Putting it underneath like
putting
that.
in all the whole fight is
Yeah.
on the internet. Yeah.
I don't know. That's
mean,
I'd
that-
obviously young kids, but they'll eventually see shit
They're
like
both.
this.
They're also. You're right. They're both guilty of using the social media to get people to praise them and to also criticize their former spouse.
Right.
And that's what people do, and it's really annoying. That
Well, I felt the same way about the Kardashians going to that island. Another thing should have been like, let's just put the phones away for 4 days. Like they
Right.
could have easily done that and not gotten any shit for it. Like, and then come back the next day and they, I don't know why everyone had the phones out there.
Yeah.
I think that I would have had the heart. Like, let's have a day where we don't do it.
yeah.
I don't know. These are.
I mean,
all-
I think more and more people are, depending on where we are in the world in the next couple months, but I think more and more people will go on to continue to have things and say, "Hey, you guys don't post."
Yeah. Right. Of course.
Because I don't want the shit from the world, but
Yeah.
also I could only invite 6 people, so I don't want my 4 other best friends to be hurt.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple somewhat, spread out social distance dinners, and we're
Don't
like, we're not
post.
posting.
Yeah,
We're not
I've-
going to hurt feelings, and I'm also not going to get shit for it.
Yeah.
so
I've done it too. But
so
anyway.
there you go. But yeah, I think that he is. I love that she fucking pointed it out because it is
Yeah.
true, and I always feel like when people are like single dad, like I was watching something on TikTok, and this guy's like, and it's like some single dad, and he's like this. I can't believe that my child's mother was supposed to take him trick-or-treating, but she'd rather get drunk with her friends and she didn't show up. And it is really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it definitely gets more attention than all the women that have like said that or shared that. Like, how
Yeah.
dare you? My child's waiting outside the window for you. We just assume, oh, great, single mothers, single mother, single mother. A minute there's a single dad, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you are the greatest person on earth. How do you do it? Oh, you mean take care of a child and hold a job and not get support from the other parent? I don't know isn't that every single mother that's like.
Yeah, I don't know how I get it. But now, when he posted this picture, Brian Nelson Green, what did it say? Because honestly, the kid's just walking past the picture. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think she's had
if I saw this picture, I wouldn't even notice. It looked like, oh, yeah, he's got a kid. He's not bragging or anything.
Halloween is a hard time to be not with your child, even if
Right.
you have the greatest, because it's like, oh my God, you only have so many years to do it. I want to see my kid in the outfit. Trick-or-treating. We can't even do trick-or-treating this year. I mean, another thing I saw like on social media was a woman crying because she and her husband are divorced or separated. And she said, please send me a photo. And the only photo he sent was of his girlfriend holding their child's hand, trick-or-treating, and the kid like being happy. Because the kid doesn't know.
Right.
It's just
He's
another
just
nice
excited
lady
for candy.
showing him around candy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that like his dad cheated. And like, it's just
Yeah.
but you felt for the woman because it's like, oh my God,
I did see Kristen Cavallari and the quarterback, or what's his name?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. They were together again.
to do
Back
their,
to do their trick-or-treating.
Right.
Where was Jeff Dye? What happened? Is it over already? He got one picture out of the deal?
The comedian.
Yeah.
And again, like, better put it on social media. Better let the world know
Yeah.
that, we got Brian Astor Green, I'm Father of the Year, but then we also have, we're the best co-parents of the year.
Yeah.
Look at us get along, so. But,
There's no
it's
better
cute.
co-parents than that. Bruce and Demi. That's just weird, right?
No, but then when I read the book of Demi Moore's book,
Yeah.
it wasn't all sunshine.
Oh, it wasn't? Okay.
No.
Because they lead you to believe that it
Yes,
is.
then there was, because then she struggled with alcohol and the kids like didn't want to be around with her for like 3 years. She like didn't have her kids.
Yeah.
There with Bruce. And she was like really struggling. But like, and that was after Ashton. I never knew that because all we saw was bonus dad Ashton and all the
Yeah.
girls looking up at Ashton. And then like Bruce in the corner and they're all on the red carpet. And we were just like, this is the greatest thing. But when you read the book, you're like, oh, it wasn't that
And weren't they
great.
also quarantined together during all this for a while? And for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't
Remember
know.
they were all wearing matching pajamas? And,
Oh.
Yeah. It was.
Oh, the
yeah.
fun, the beginning fun part
The beginning
of it.
fun part. Remember, we used to do like Zoom happy hours.
We've got to do the Zoom dinner. Just like, oh my God, the
we were
virtual.
remember we were all watching Tiger King and having a good laugh.
A lot of people were Tiger King for Halloween.
I saw a few, yeah.
Kim and Jonathan Chabon, and they dressed the 3 kids up as the
I
tigers and
figured
4
there'd be a lot of
kids.
Tiger Kings, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
good. I'm glad everyone had fun.
all right. So here we go to more. I brought this up. This is Chelsea and Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Okay. Because Justin Bieber has a new song out. The new song, Lonely.
Oh,
Okay, this is when I heard this song, I immediately was like, first of all, I love Justin Bieber. I love his music.
so do I. Yeah.
I love his song. I think he's so talented. But when I was listening to it for like the 3rd time or when he was on SNL, okay, he's like, listen to this part, okay? Everybody knows my past. Wait, let me sing it again. Fix this part. Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass. And maybe that's the price you paid for the money and fame at an early age. And everybody saw me sick, and it felt like nobody gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. Justin, I want to apologize. Let me
Okay.
tell you what I remember from Chelsea lately.
Yeah.
The second time he came. Now, the first time he came, I don't know how old he was. 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
He flirted with Chelsea. It was cute. Okay. The second time he came, we did this bit. Sarah, Jen Kirkman, and I,
We
we were like gross cougary women that basically wanted to like get with him.
I remember.
I think he was
that.
maybe 15. And we had to shoot the scene, and he wasn't feeling well. He was really sick. And they're like, that's okay. A doctor's coming to give him some shots, some B12 shots in the ass. And I remember being like, why does he have to do this episode today?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, why are we making? And he wasn't, and this wasn't even, he wasn't even going to perform a song. It's just to do this. And then we made him do a sketch too. Like, why didn't we just cut the sketch?
Yeah.
Maybe he can get through 8 minutes with Chelsea.
Right.
But again, why didn't we just go, now it's not our ability to do it. His people, his mom, his everybody was like, no, he's 13 or whatever he was. We'll just give him these B12 shots.
Yeah.
And he can do this show. So I just want to say, as a mother, and I was not the person that could make this decision as a writer,
No.
but I wish I would have spoken up and said, this child's not feeling well. What are we doing? Like, why does he have to do this? Why can't we just fill in this segment?
Yeah, that
Like-
would have been. I mean, you don't think of things like that at the time.
No.
Yeah.
But like if I was on a show now and we had a child, whether not JoJo Siwa, because she's 17, but I think she's 29. So
That's the
I don't
girl with the big bows
know.
in her hair?
Yes.
She's nice. Nice kid.
But if there was some other kid that was like killing it, and wasn't feeling well, I'd be like, under no circumstances are we gonna like make this kid do something that I got. Like I always remember that about Miley Cyrus, how they said they made her drink coffee and stuff, and to get through those scenes of Hannah Montana. And,
yeah.
because they're like, well, we got everyone on set. Like no one else.
I
Can
mean,
be
look back in the
Hannah.
old days, like Shirley Temple. I mean, I think they used to like, who knows what they did to keep her going.
I
She was, like,
remember. I remember
4.
being told as a child, and I know this isn't true, but do you remember the show like with Mr. French and Mr. Beasley? Which it was like some weird. The Mrs. Beasley was a doll.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I do
Anyway, there were some
remember.
kids
Yeah.
on that. I remember my sister being like, in order to keep the kids small, they have braces on their bodies to keep them from growing. Now that wasn't true. I know that wasn't true. But even then I felt like, oh my God, that's so sad.
I also
you know?
heard that, like Alfred Hitchcock used to nail, not through their feet, they would nail the shoes to the ground and then put their feet in the shoes so they wouldn't move, the kids.
Well, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because that's like you had to block the cameras in those in
Yeah.
the olden days.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure it wasn't great for anybody back then.
Yeah. But anyway, Justin, I'm sure we weren't the only people, that you were about to do an interview and your managers or whatever called in that doctor with the B12 shots or
Yeah.
whatever it was to give him a shot in your ass and perk you up and let you talk to Chelsea and flirt with her for another
The weird
5
thing
minutes.
was we did so many sketches where one of us, whether it be you or me or whoever, was going to fuck the guest. Like, when you mentioned it just now, I remember like 6 where I like knocked on their dressing room door and was like, "Hey, and everybody was kind of up for it, which is weird. I remember I did one with Florence Henderson, Mrs. Brady. I was like, "Hey," basically saying, "Hey, want to fuck?" And that's kind of what it led you to believe. I walked into a dressing room door shut and came out
Yes.
with tousled hair, and then I remember doing one with Miss Piggy, which was so fucking weird and gross. But Miss Piggy was our guest, and they were so protective of seeing Miss Piggy, just in a suitcase. Like
Yes, yes.
And I remember I opened the door and walked in, and Miss Piggy was like lying on the floor, without anybody's hand up her. And they were like, get out! Like, you can't see Miss Piggy this way. Get out!
Really? Like the puppeteers?
Yeah. And there was no cameras allowed in. You couldn't take any pictures with her or anything. And I just sat there and watched them stick her on a chair.
Okay, so then once she was able to be seen by other people,
Yeah.
then you had to act like you wanted to
Yes, I brought
have sex with her?
Yes, I knocked on her dressing room door and she was like, "Hey, hey," and I was like, "Hey, what do you do?" But they, you could have no sexual overtones at all. So
Or you couldn't then.
no, but that was the point. But the guy who's controlling her voice was doing like, "Oh, what are we gonna have? Pasta?" Or something. He was doing
yeah.
like corny bits, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh
yeah.
boy, this is awful." But it's so funny that everyone was like, "We're gonna fuck the guest." What a weird show.
Oh my
that
God.
was. It was such a
Well, when we were
odd
about to
time.
do that thing, that video, that thing where Sarah and Jen and I were all like in slutty dresses.
Yeah.
And Justin, there's no way he was 18. He was definitely like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
But he kind of like Like the first time he was there, he was a total delight. The second time he was there, he was throwing food at his bodyguard.
Yes.
And we just had to be, everyone had to just be like, ha, 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 which is
Yeah.
what I always talk about, that Twilight Zone where everyone's scared of the kid that's going to be send them to the cornfield. The third time he was sick, and this was the third time. And we're trying to get through the bit, and his mom was like chatting to some other woman. I don't know if she was a makeup artist or what. And they were just like, oh, and Steve, who worked with us, who was kind of in charge of it,
Yeah.
he, was like trying to talk, and the two women were talking as well as Steve. And Justin just went, shh,
Yeah.
to his mom and the other woman. And he was right. Justin was right. Like, we have to get through this. He's fucking sick. We
Yeah.
have to listen to the director. This, his mom is talking to the makeup artist and interrupting, But I just remember I was like, whoa. Like I almost peed a little in my pants out of fear. Like, I'm like, you don't
This
fuck
kid.
with like, he's already like, I'm fucking sick. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm doing this same bit where I have to act like I want to fuck Chelsea Handler for the third
I
time.
know. That was like their
Like, I'm
shtick.
done with this. Like,
Yeah.
give me my B12 shot and let me get done with this bit.
Wow.
Anyway, I love this song. He's so incredibly talented.
I like that. I don't know this song, but
I'm so lonely. And everyone's going to hate me singing it, so who cares? Okay. Our girl Lori Loughlin went today.
yes.
She is at the Dublin's prison
the
for
same
women.
one, right? That the other girl
Well, that is the California female prison of choice
for it's
for
a
low,
minimum
not
security.
murderers.
Yeah.
And so she's there, and I was watching a little bit on Good Morning America. So she opted to go early so
Okay.
that she could get out by Christmas. She also said they gave her less of a sentence if she wouldn't pull any COVID bullshit. So she basically is like, I won't at the last minute claim I can't go because of COVID.
Yeah.
So she's in a room right now. They quarantine her alone in a room for 2 weeks.
Okay.
She can only like step outside for like 5 minutes a day. After that 2 weeks, then she'll get a roommate, and then she can like watch TV and stuff.
Oh, great.
Well, maybe she has a TV in her room. I don't know. But
Yeah.
then she can go to like so she's doing her 2 months, and her
And then
speech
he
was
does-
good.
he's got,
Then
like,
he
6
has to do
months.
5
Oh, 5. Okay.
plus $250 he has to pay, and like 500 hours of community service, like a lot.
Oh,
Would you hear 500 hours and you're like, oh, it's just community service, but
But
that is years
Yeah.
of community service.
Right.
Like, I asked my sister about that one time, because one time she was telling me about one of her cases and how much community service she got somebody, which you always, again, think is better than prison, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, my God, that's a lot. Like,
Yeah, because
that is every weekend for like 2 years
Yeah.
that you have to like be at the shelter or
But can't
whatever.
you just like fudge it a little bit? Like, I signed the paperwork. I was there. I served.
I mean, I don't know, but I said, has anybody ever been like, you know what? I'd rather just do like 3 weeks in the prison if it's a low thing and like knock it out.
And not
I
have
don't
to
think
work-
I want to be
work
like,
at the soup kitchen.
yeah, like I
every
don't want to
weekend.
like never be able to go on a vacation because I have to like go and work this whole other job for the next like 10 years.
Yeah.
And she goes, sometimes people do. Sometimes people say, you know what, I'd rather just do the prison time.
This is going to be a controversial opinion on this one, but did we really need? I mean, is the world a better place that these two are locked up? Like, did we need to go to these lengths to?
I think so, because I think there is a point of other people that don't have the attorneys and everything that, there
Right.
was the case of the woman who lied about where she lived so that her kid could get
Yeah,
into
there were
a
other
better.
ones in the same scandal, right?
No, there
She
was
was not
like
in this scandal.
no, there was like a mom of like an elementary kid who lied about her address so that her kid could go to
oh.
the better school.
Okay.
And she did time for it.
Really?
Yeah, a black woman. So it's like,
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
think
now-
there were those kind of things that were like, no, wait a minute,
Yeah.
And I think this was really bad, and I think we're going to find out more and more that this went on for like 30 years
with other people.
with other people.
Yeah.
And, I actually am working on Drake's applications tonight.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, we're going to pull it out. We're going to get them done. Like, I want them done, like, in the next 2 weeks, everything.
Do you want me to come over and take pictures of him on a rowing machine? Spray water in his face.
But I thought there has been times where I've been, like, frustrated with him to just be like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, I'm like, I get why if someone at her level, you hear 500,000 is what they spent. but they have like $50 million.
Yeah.
So 500,000 of them, maybe like, okay, someone comes to me, okay, well, for $400, we'll fill out all the applications for your son and he automatically gets into SC. And then you can go there every weekend and you can go to the games and he can do the work, but he's kind of a little bit lazy now, but won't that be fun to go to SC? And now I would not do it because but then in their defense, in their prosecution, you saw how she knew she was doing all the things wrong.
Yeah.
Like lying about it. But I'm saying if someone came to you and presented it in a way that you didn't think you were breaking the law, except throwing a little money at it and having someone do all the paperwork and everything for you down to like putting the stamp on the app or whatever. I guess they do it online now.
Yeah.
But I can see why.
Now, whatever
and then in your inner circle, everybody's doing the same thing.
Yeah. What happened to Olivia Jade? Did she finish her? Did she get a degree
both dropped
from
out.
SC?
They both left SC. They both left the Kappa house. There's like rumblings that they're like mad at their parents and everything. And I just think they just all have to sit low. I think they have to get through this, and then I think they will come out of it in like a year. But
but she'll never be like.
Yeah, but in the evidence, they knew that they were doing illegal shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I'll write a check for this building and I'll see what I can do, like they did in the past. It was, no, now you have to write a check to this other thing. Now you have to do this. Now you have to, and the fact that they were like, don't let my child know.
Yeah.
So they were like even hiding it from their kid, like letting their kid think they're smarter than they are,
And she's like her career as like a cute Hallmark Christmas movie actress is kind of over, right? Everyone kind of views her now as like a bitch. So
I think her next thing, though, I don't think it's juicy enough that she could like write a book.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna say? Unless you're really gonna be honest and be like, you know what? This is all the shit I got away with for the last 20 years. Let me tell you some other things that Hollywood people do and get away with. Like, which she's not. She's now being like, oh my gosh, I took spots from other kids that really need it. Like she's trying to, smooth it over. But I think it's great that it was exposed.
Yeah.
And I think it like will even the playing field and it's just such a weird way people are about their kids.
Yeah.
It's just not the way I am. Like I want them to go to school and I want them but I don't believe that you have to go to the best school and you have to go to Harvard but you get into this thing of like cocktail.
You're so
you're at the cocktail party.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
You want to say, oh, he's going to Harvard. And we couldn't decide between Harvard or Stanford. And,
like you meet up with friends and it's embarrassing to say your kid went to, I don't know, wherever.
Or your kid's going to a JC for 2 years.
Yeah. Right.
He's just
school.
not ready to go.
Just learning air conditioning or refrigeration.
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, not be. But I think more and more people are like realizing like this isn't a way to be. But when you're in that world, it is like, well, not my child. I always wonder like, what is it like as a couple? Are you still like really in love? Are you holding each other at night? Are you getting through it, or do you blame each other? Like it was you. I told you not to do it, Massimo.
I think it is that. I think she's very angry at him. That's just based on nothing. Except for that picture right there where she's.
So in your prediction, do you think like 5 years from now they're still together? Still together, leaving separate lives, or still together, stronger than ever, or divorced?
They'll stay together. They're now been. It's a long time.
They've gotten
over the hump. Yeah.
Like why bother?
Yeah. What are we gonna do now? Let's just stick to.
It would be kind of beautiful if they did like have like a real, like a less superficial, or I don't know what their marriage was like, but like I just remember he was a dick to the woman who worked at Marymount High School.
I remember I had a killer Massimo jacket that I bought somewhere that I used to wear to Vegas. Like it was, that was when my highlights were perfect. I'd wear a nice open shirt.
How much did that Massimo jacket cost you?
Like $29.99. I think I got it at Marshalls or one of the TJ Maxx or something. But it was I wore that one for 2-3 years. Got a lot of play out of it. So
you did.
Yeah. So I love Massimo for that reason alone.
Did you have a certain outfit that when you put it on, or a certain song at the time, like you were out to get some action, get attention, that got you in the mood?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely had some outfits for sure.
Yeah.
But as far as songs and stuff, It depended on where I was going. You know, if I was going to Vegas, there would be like, some little less conversation, a little
Oh,
more
really?
action,
Oh,
stuff
you
like
were
that.
like old school.
Oh yeah. We were, because it was a Vegas vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling the story one time of at the Chelsea Late the Writers' Room, that song by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh yeah. Tonight's
Tonight's
gonna be a good
yeah,
night.
that was like a
No,
one.
no, 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 no. Da. Yeah.
Right. It seems so dated now, that song,
Oh,
but it's just
so corny, but
so
God got
corny
you in
and
the
dated.
mood.
Got you in the mood to get ready to go.
Tonight's gonna be a really good night.
Let's hit it. I love those days. It's gone now.
I love it.
Put on your mask, everybody. Tonight's going to be a good night.
Okay, Keith Raniere.
Yeah. I
Cult
know.
leader, volleyball player.
Gap V-neck sweater wearer.
Soft,
Yeah.
wavy hair.
Yeah, soft. part of the middle.
120 years.
Yeah. That's about right? I mean,
I'm very happy about it. I have to say, I guess I'm a little surprised.
that's so long?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought for sure he'd get like 20 years, like your life's over.
Yeah.
But I did not think like the rest of your life you are in prison.
And what was it? Is it the sex trafficking that got him the big rap, or?
I mean, I guess. I mean, this was one of those stories that the more I kept reading about, I was still so confused. And not till I finally watched a little bit of the special.
The HBO one or this too?
The HBO one, but it was very boring.
It was boring.
Because it was
bored by
like
it.
kind of documentary, but then there was just one episode that I saw that then I was like, okay, now I understand how it works. Now I understand how the girl recruits another girl, how she bullies her on text to lose weight, and then you end up having sex with Raniere once you move into this house in upstate New York. Then I finally got it. And how like there was the one group and then there was the subgroup. And a lot of people in the main group didn't even know that the subgroup really existed. And in the subgroup, that's where you really starved and had sex with Raniere and probably didn't play as much volleyball.
I don't get the cult lifestyle. I don't know if I've grown up in a world where, I just would never, watching this documentary, there's so many places I would have been like, no, I'm out.
Well, I do think, and I've said this before, I do think women are more susceptible to cult life,
right?
In general, and I'm just making a general statement from my opinion.
But if you look back,
I think they're more susceptible to being religious.
Okay,
everything. I think they're more just susceptible to like looking for a spiritual answer to make themselves a better person.
In this one.
Yeah.
But you look on some of those other ones, the Jim Jones thing that happened years ago, and even that other one that's on Netflix about the Maharishi Yogi. There's equal parts men and women in both of those, I think. This one, I think, was more of a Waco sex kind of thing, so it was more
Well, it was
women.
so interesting because it was all about, empowering women in this a women's group, but there's a guy in charge, and no one, like, pointed that out. Like, isn't it weird that we're supposed to be this like women power group, and it's like this guy? I think there's a lot of correlation towards acting, which is why the Allison Mack got people involved.
Yeah,
acting is why I thought for one moment, briefly in time, should I be a Scientologist? Is there something that Scientology is teaching you that will make you like be better in an audition?
Because there were so many successful people.
Yes, and I was such a bad auditioner. I could never book an audition ever. And I just felt like, oh my God, I'm just never going to make it in this business. I mean, every time I get the opportunity to go out for something, I never get it. Maybe there's some mindset that will make me less nervous and like nail an audition. And then you just get into this like, okay, I remember here's a good weird Hollywood story.
Okay.
Went to some weird thing where you pay like $75 for the day. And I don't know if it's on Dramalog, whatever, but it's like how you go to this class and you will make it in Hollywood, And it was like,
now, how old are you at this time?
23.
Oh, okay.
And there's this girl, she's pretty fit, and she has like long black hair and a cowboy hat. And we're at like a small room at like some North Hollywood place, and she's strutting around giving her lecture, and she's like, I'm 27. I'm going to have 2 Oscars by the time I'm 29. So I've got 2 years to make that happen. That was one of the moments that I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that can't
How are
even
you getting
happen.
2 Oscars? Like,
Yeah.
you're actually going to find a movie, get in it.
Unless you're filming that movie once this seminar's over. That's not happening.
She's like, but I know what's going to happen. Because, like, it was, like, kind of the secret before the secret had come out. Like, I'm doing it, you know. And then she was like, this is, you know, see, here are some of the tactics that you do or whatever.
Yeah.
You sneak on to the lots. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You can sneak on. These are she told us, like, the gates that you can kind of sneak in through. And you bring your headshots and you just go in and you start handing them out and you, like, bust into, like, casting directors' offices and let them know about you.
Uh-huh.
So I make friends with this girl.
The girl who's going to...
No, just some other girl that paid
Oh.
$75. And she's like, okay, we exchange numbers. Okay, you know, calls me up. All right, you want to go do this? You know, we have to find the Paramount Studios and the CBS Radford, like, on the Thomas Guide. Like, we don't even know how to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. And we, like, flirt with some security guard.
You said several things in this story so far. Dramalog and Thomas Guide. I mean, oh my God, it brings back such painful memories of the
Horrible.
early days.
Our life was horrible. Okay,
Yeah.
our life was horrible. How I never gave up, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when people
So
go, what
anyway,
would you tell your younger self? I would say, I know you're not going to believe me, but it's going to fucking get better, because anybody else would say, give up, you loser. Like,
Yeah.
you are delusional. What are you
Right.
doing? So the girl and I go and we, like, when the security guard's not looking, we're, like, walking around and we, like, find a casting director and someone's like, what? You know, we, like, get in their office. Oh, we just want to drop off these headshots. They're like, what? Okay, just put it in that box. Like, and, like, as if someone's just going to see us and be like, yeah, read for this part right now. Like, it was just so, but, you know, it's like, no, it's the squeaky wheel. Like, it's the oil and you have to do this. And after, like, the 3rd one, we're like, okay, and then we're going to hit these 3 tomorrow. And the next day, just neither of us called each other to do it.
That was it.
I never spoke to her again.
Yeah.
Never. Then
Did she win 2 Oscars, the girl, ever?
no, never
that
saw
girl
her
today
again.
is Sandra Bullock. No.
Never saw her again. But there were so many things like pay, from the learning annex to this, pay this amount and I'm going to inspire you and I'm going
Yeah.
to give you the tools that you need to get an agent, to get a SAG card and get going. And, like, you just meet all these people, guys and girls, that are like,
Oh,
just
it's all
got
such
here,
bullshit.
that just got here and are like, don't, you know, have no nepotism, don't know where to begin.
Right.
And so then the other one,
I feel
was-
like all of this stuff has kind of gone away because of just Google, and it's so easy to just Google
Yes.
scam artists now when we didn't have that. You didn't
Yeah.
know who was a scam artist and who was legitimate because there was no way to check anybody. You're just like, oh, I guess.
the other one that we went to, the other one I went to, and this one I think I went by myself, and it was another seminar with like 4 people, and this one guy goes, you know how you get parts in movies? You go to parties. You go to parties and you meet producers
Yeah.
that then put you in the movie. How are they going to know you? It's not going to be through an agent. It's not going to be through your manager. It's going to be through parties.
But this story that you told me to look up, that's how this girl did it.
What girl?
The girl,
Oh, Charlotte. Okay,
Char-
we're going to get
yeah.
to that in a minute. Charlotte
okay.
Kirk. So the next day, also when they go, but listen, out of the 100 people at this thing, we're only picking 10%.
yeah,
We're only picking 10% to help get your career going.
yeah.
So make an appointment and tomorrow at our Hollywood offices, and we'll see if we feel like you've got it. Like, if you are ready to fucking make it in this business.
Yeah.
So, and look professional. That's what they said. So I'm like 23. I wake up the next day. I get in like some little Ally McBeal like business suit, right? Like short skirt, blazer. Drive to like literally Hollywood Boulevard, like bums and like, you know, the stars on the ground,
Right.
someplace. Some old fashioned building. Like, it looked like I walked into 1945. Go up there. The guy is just by himself. Empty desk. One phone.
Yeah.
That's it. I sit down and I'm like, yeah, so I was there yesterday. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Hold on. Hello? Do I have any calls? It's like, no. Oh. Okay. So you are one of the 10% we're going to choose.
Of course you are. You showed up. Yeah.
We are going to get you to these parties. We're going to introduce you to these producers that are ready to cast people today.
Yeah.
And it's $1,200.
Oh my
So
god.
you can write me a check for $1,200. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, $1,200. He's like, what about $400?
Oh, oh, that's so funny.
And I just was like, thank God. I mean, look, I've been tricked a lot.
Yeah.
But when it really comes down to like truly be taken or, being assaulted or whatever, I would always just like wake up right before and was like, wait, let me look at this office for a minute. Like
Yeah.
what,
This is not-
but still I'd be like, how dumb were you to even go to this thing in the first place?
We all did that shit.
But I was just
though.
like, no, I am different.
Yeah.
I do want it enough. And so that's why I am sympathetic to the cult life.
I
'cause
would do
could
like
see it.
I would do like odd jobs for like gay producers. I mean, they would have you like move TVs, and back when TVs were 700 pounds, and I would, and then it was just all so weird. I'm like, when do we start shooting the movie? Like after you've moved my entire. I mean, I remember vividly like moving this guy's TV, and then he took me to lunch somewhere. Down on like Melrose or something. And I remember walking into the lunch place and it must have been like the same people had lunch there every day like back in those Hollywood days. And everyone's like, oh, here's Jim with his new boy. I got that vibe. I'm like, oh, he does this every day with a different young actor.
Yeah.
So.
And then they put the feelers out, they fish, and then they say who's willing to like suck their dick.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
And it's
all of it.
It's a gamble. It's not everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes he's out a deli sandwich.
Yeah.
But other times he's not.
The weird thing was I never had any like legitimate until I got like Chelsea Lately. Otherwise, everything else was like just some bullshit that was, it was like that guy. 2,000, what about 400? It was just all bullshit.
I mean, oh God, so many stories. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is Leanne Rimes. This is her Instagram post.
That's shocking.
She has psoriasis.
That's psoriasis?
Psoriasis.
Okay.
But she is using it to promote her podcast.
Oh, what is the podcast?
She wrote, so much of my journey, both personally and within my creations, my new chant record and podcast coming out soon.
Oh, she got a chant record coming out? I can't wait for that.
So, there's a lot of new podcasts coming out every day.
A lot.
And
yeah.
you have to stand out.
Yeah.
And if standing out means showing your nude body with psoriasis, so then be it. Be brave.
Be brave.
I just wonder, what is the next thing someone's going to expose? Like, are they just going to take a photo of, like, inside their uterus? And
that
be
is
like,
a shocking picture.
I need people to know about my podcast. My dad had psoriasis.
Okay.
There is no cure. There's all these different types of things. But, it's called the heartbreak of psoriasis. Kim Kardashian has it.
A lot of people.
But I mean, I don't know.
Cyndi Lauper has it. She does a commercial, which is always fascinating to me because she does a commercial for some drug for psoriasis or some skin. And they have Cyndi Lauper, who's a big star.
Yeah.
But they don't she's not the first face they show. They show some other guy, like, look at my elbows. They got psoriasis. And then the next spokesperson is Cyndi Lauper. I'm like, why not just use Cyndi Lauper throughout the entire commercial? Why are you using two other regular people in this commercial? You've paid Cyndi Lauper to be your spokesperson.
Well, and the good news is that she's definitely going to have one ad for her podcast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that will be for the psoriasis
Whatever it is,
medication, whatever. My dad had it, and it was stress related, and as he got older, it like disappeared.
Uh-huh.
But it was very bad, like at 50. Anyway, I just thought it was like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, she has psoriasis. But then when I saw it was used to draw attention to her new podcast, I was like, again with the brave and exposing yourself and everything. I'm like, okay, we got it, girl. But also, Brandi Glanville has had a podcast for 7-8 years.
Does she have psoriasis?
No, but Leanne Rimes
Oh,
married her
that's
ex-husband.
right. Yeah.
And sometimes they're getting along and posting about how they're both at the soccer games, and other times we're not happy with each other. I think in the last year they've gotten along.
Okay.
Johnny Depp has lost his libel suit.
He did.
So he sued The Sun, British tabloid, because they referred to him as a wife beater based on everything Amber Heard had said. And he said, that's not true. You have nothing to prove that I was a wife beater, and therefore you've cost me business, and I'm going to sue you. Well, they went through the whole trial, which has gone on for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And the judge said, no, there is enough evidence to prove that they were okay in saying that. And but also the judge said that it was not Amber who shit the bed, because part of Johnny Depp's deposition and trial was that she was cruel and tortured him and shit on the bed once and left the shit there for him to find. And they said, no, it wasn't her shit. It was a pet.
Okay.
And the judge spent 600 words in his findings to say he does not believe Amber Heard shit the bed. He does believe it was a dog. They brought out the vet records.
Did they have the shit there?
The dog had a loose bowels. The dog had history. They had witnesses that had seen the dog. Was this the same
dog they got in trouble with for bringing to Australia? Remember that? They got in trouble for bringing that dog to Australia.
I mean, they probably had several, but so, she's not a bed shitter, according to this judge.
Well, I would imagine Amber Heard shit probably looks like a little dog shit. Like, she doesn't strike me as the type of gal who's taking a big shot.
First of all,
I don't know anything.
Doesn't matter how hot you are.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But in my mind,
you want a big
Feels...
one. It's like there's nothing else like it.
I could talk shit all day.
So anyway, all that he's lost.
I listen to the audio tapes a lot.
Yeah.
She audio taped a lot of their arguments and stuff.
Where it seemed.
Yeah, and he seemed like he was. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming or whatever, shaming. But he sounded kind of like he was being bullied by her.
I definitely think they had like a really volatile relationship and everything.
Yeah.
Had he just let the paper go.
Yeah.
And moved on and was like, it's bullshit. But then when you go and sue, then everything has to be examined, every argument, everything. And now people are like, well, who knows? It's still your word against hers.
This is what
But there's enough to prove that it was volatile.
If you're a 56-year-old man and you have to have a 22-year-old girl, you better be prepared for shit like this. You know what I mean?
Literally shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's shit out of her own asshole or shit out of her little dog
Yeah.
that she allows to sleep and get on the bed.
Right. You got to be more like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is nice. He's got that wife, girlfriend, or whatever I see in pictures, who's of his age, or at least she seems like she is.
Yes.
They're not shitting on each other. They're having a nice life, walking around, eating ice cream. At least I see in pictures. I don't think they're shitting on beds.
Well, who's the other people that people always freak out because his wife is a little older and a little curvier?
Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
Pierce Brosnan is another one. It takes because his wife is actually probably the same age as him, and also Hugh Jackman, same thing. Hugh Jackman also has a wife who's his age, and people
that he's been married
out.
to for 20 years and have kids with. Yeah. Okay, so getting back to this Charlotte Kirk, one thing that I've been obsessed with. She's not that great looking. God, her skin isn't that good.
Yes, it's funny. It's
Go
funny
ahead.
you mentioned that because if you read the story, there's a new story in Vanity Fair magazine that I read that it's just
Tell me.
It's amazing. She seemingly walks into every Hollywood. She landed in New York, and within like a week, she was fucking somebody huge.
Packer. Packer was
the first one. He was like
who was engaged to Mariah Carey.
He was a casino. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He
Billionaire.
Was, the billionaire. That was the first guy. But this isn't within 3 days of living in New York. Like most people go to New York and you get a job at Jimmy John's. And you struggle.
The thing is that she was kind of passed around.
Yeah.
But when you read all the text, it's like she's aware she's being passed around. She's being like, okay, but I met your friend at the Bel Air Hotel. What was his name? The Japanese Warner Brothers
the guy
guy.
from Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so this was Brett Ratner. That I don't know if she ever had sex with Brett Ratner, but he was always like, no, go to this party, meet this guy over here.
Right. Yeah, he was the one who
Tassa Harmy or something.
Yeah,
and then they had then right after she met with him, then they did their deal for $400 million with him, where they had their company part of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And then then there was this other guy that
Who's
she got
that?
with.
She got with that guy?
That older guy she got with like years prior. And and he was married to his second or third wife, but she still was boning him. And she just like, and then she was like, where's my part in Ocean's 8? And so finally they gave her like one line, and that's
line.
when she's wearing this at the Ocean's 8 premiere.
Oh.
And then
But then she gets the big guy. She takes down the
this
president.
one, right? That's the
No,
Warner Brothers. Which
another
one?
one. She takes down Ron Meyer, the biggest.
I think this is
basically-
Ron Meyer.
No,
Oh,
that's not.
wait,
Ron
that's
Meyer.
not Ron Meyer. Oh, that's Ron
Meyer.
Meyer.
She takes down like the biggest mogul in Hollywood. This guy's like he's like the biggest person in Hollywood. Ran NBC Universal.
So this is what she said in a sworn declaration made public last week and first revealed in a story by the Hollywood Reporter. Kirk, 28, alleges that she was victimized by Tusahara, that's the Warner Brothers guy, and producer Brett Ratner, billionaire producer James Packer, that's who used to be engaged to
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, and Millennium Films CEO Avi Lerner, that was the other older-looking
Yeah.
guy. In her declaration contained in a new petition filed, Kirk states that the men, quote, coerced me into engaging in commercial sex for them and their business associates. She contends that Packer, whom she had dated for a period, and Ratner sexually exploited me, with Ratner sending her crude sexual text messages and offering me as an inducement to his business partners. So, and he
How
did.
is Brett Ratner still kind of working? Like I feel
Well,
like
he's not
I
anymore.
feel like his name comes up in every one of these scandals.
Yes.
He is somehow involved.
He was always like at the Hollywood parties I'd go to back in the day.
Yeah.
Further, Kirk alleges in her declaration that after discussing potential film roles in his office, Lerner coaxed her into coming to his home where he coerced her into engaging in oral sex. This was followed by additional instances of sexual abuse of me by him. So but then they are saying that these producers have accused Kirk, Newton, who was like her ex-boyfriend, and another man who's her current boyfriend, fiance, Neil Marshall, of civil extortion.
But Neil Marshall's also a pretty prominent film director. I
So
believe.
they were saying after this was all like done, and we each dated her for a period. We each threw her apart here or there, but it was all like on the up and up. Then she said she was going to reveal it all if they didn't
Yeah.
give some big money. So that's when this guy,
Ron
Meyer, that's when he came clean to his board members and stuff and was like, look, I'm out. Like, this is
and
going
his
to come out.
family.
Yeah.
He had a wife for 35 years or something, and the whole bit. So, I mean, it's like how good is, not to be crass, but how good is the pussy for you to give up all Ron Meyer had?
Because I don't think he ever thought that this particular chick would take him down. She is one of, I'm sure, 100 in the last 40 years between his
Right.
2-3 marriages that,
Yeah.
we're more than willing to act like she was into him.
Yeah.
And sure, you can make a phone call. You're pretty blonde. Of course, you can be the waitress in Ocean's 11 or
But that's
ask
what
to order a drink
I
or
believe
whatever.
she met Ron Meyer at the premiere party for Ocean's 8. That's where she met him. So the other guy got her Ocean's 8.
I mean, I just think women that once they learn how to flirt and show a person that they're DTW,
Yeah.
right? No, what's
DTF.
that?
Yeah. DTW is down to wait.
No, I think I'm thinking of the shoe company.
Yeah,
DFW.
DFW. That's the discount shoes. Which maybe these people wear. I don't know.
I mean, I just don't know what it would be like.
Yeah.
I'm going to be her. You're going to be Ron Meyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Meeting at a party.
Meeting at a party.
Like immediately, apparently she goes
Like,
right up to
she
these
does
people.
now. This isn't Brad Pitt. So
No.
you're at a party.
Yeah.
He is not a known face. If you saw this face at Starbucks, I don't care how Hollywood insider you are, you're not going to know that's Ron Meyer.
Yeah.
He could be your friend's dad. He could
Right.
be a high school principal. But I believe she went and studied the big player faces.
Oh, sure.
So she looks over and
Or
she
someone tells her at the
sees
party, like, that's Ron Meyer.
Ron Meyer.
Yeah.
And she's gets close by and is like, wow, I I don't even know if I should try to get a drink. This place is so crowded.
It is very well. That's Hollywood parties. We like to do it big here in Hollywood. I believe you're from London, judging by your accent.
I am. I'm still to have a little bit of an accent, but it was so exciting to work on the film. Did you just come to the party, or did you actually sit through the movie?
My company produced the film. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ocean's 8. Yeah, we're excited. An all-female cast.
Well, I can see that. I can see why people would be drawn to wanting to do whatever you say.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm Ron Meyer.
So you just are say this movie's going to go, this one's not.
Yes.
And people just obviously fall at your feet.
I
can see why.
I guess that in a way, that's what happens.
I can see your charm.
Thank you. Isn't that sweet of you to say?
I see how you can charm.
Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty charmed.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I could probably work something out to get you that drink a little quicker than having to wait in this line.
I would say I'm thirsty, but I think I'm already wet.
Whoa! Yikes!
I mean,
I'd like to get
when
that.
can we get to know each other better?
How about we exchange numbers? Or I don't know what you're doing after this, but
I'm doing what you're doing after
I was going to go meet up with Mindy Kaling after this. She's in the movie, but I'd rather meet up with you.
I think I'd like to have this conversation somewhere more private.
That'd be great. Why don't we?
Maybe when this thing wraps up in 30 minutes, you tell me where to meet you.
Okay. Well, let's exchange numbers.
Okay. So we exchange numbers.
But put my number in your phone as don't put it as Ron Meyer.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it as Hot Big Daddy.
Even better.
Okay, Hot Big Daddy. I'm Charlotte.
Nice to meet you, Charlotte.
Um,
We'll talk soon.
Well, we better be talking about 20 minutes because I need to be taken care of, and I think you need to be taken care of.
Oh, all right. I gotta say
I'm
goodbye
very
to
turned on
Kate
right now.
Blanchett, and
very turned on right now,
Wow.
and I would be very sad if you disappointed me because
I won't. I promise.
I need to
Yeah.
have you inside my mouth.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I can't believe. Wait a minute. Maybe you should have paid this guy the $2,000 to go to Hollywood parties. You fucked
I've never
up.
talked like that to anybody.
You fucked up.
I just was wondering, how does a girl do it? And I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
You have to really make it clear.
You got to come out there.
You got to make it absolutely clear. I am not wasting your time. You will get what you want.
It's funny. I've had people, do that to me, like after shows and stuff, and it always made me uncomfortable. I'm like, all right, calm the fuck down. But some guys, I guess, just
like, what if you've had someone come up to you after show?
Oh,
and be
yeah.
like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
say what?
like along those lines, like,
Wow.
hey, what do you say we get out and I'll suck your dick, like stuff like that, like immediately. And I'm always like, this is obviously a scam, or I'm uncomfortable. Like none of it. But I guess some guys just go, they have the whatever it takes to just come back.
Well, it's just like such an ego boost. His wife was probably like, you know what? I'm not going to the premiere with you, Ron.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and this girl
Damn
probably
it.
comes in as
I've got a
statuesque.
workman here tomorrow to work on the on my garden,
Yeah.
and you know what? Like, or she doesn't even talk to him at all. They haven't even
Yeah.
talked for 2 weeks, he and his wife.
Right.
Who knows?
I would imagine that's probably the case. And
So it's all getting exposed. The main thing is they want to say that because of Me Too, that these settlements that they do should not be closed to the court.
Yeah.
It should be exposed. But I don't really understand where that goes to.
the interesting now is a lot of people are like making this girl out to be kind of like a bit of a hero. Like, good, these guys have fucked over enough people. You fuck back. Good for you.
Well, I think it's a little bit of like passing her around is what they're. I don't think she's using the word like I was sex trafficked, but I
Yeah.
think she's like I was coerced and sort of passed around and sort of shared.
Yeah.
And like go over to this guy, and then by them delivering her to this guy, they had this lucrative deal made, almost like, well, thank you very much. I wasn't going to do that $400 million deal, but after my incredible night with your friend
Yeah.
at the Bel Air Hotel is what happened with the Warner Brothers guy.
Right.
Then let's make, and she's like, okay, I basically made a deal happen for you, and you give
With-
me one line.
I know that's the other thing. Like, It's not like she turned out to be, Hillary Swank or anything. Like she did all this shit, but still is like an extra.
Well, that's why she was so pissed in some of those text messages where she was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? I went to see your friend last night and I still have to audition for this. Remember there was one part where she was supposed to play like a lesbian girl in overalls and she was like mad. She's like, why am I'm never going to get this part as a lesbian in overalls. And it was like a sitcom, like a...
Yeah. It's all very fascinating. I highly recommend the new Vanity Fair article. It gives you a lot of
I
detail.
think, you know what? It's kind of reminds me of like Marilyn Monroe. Like Marilyn Monroe, even though she was this big star, the Kennedy brothers passed her around.
Yeah.
She she slept with JFK Jr. and then she slept with Robert Kennedy and then she died.
Not JFK Jr., JFK.
Sorry, JFK,
yeah.
the president. Then
Robert Kennedy.
got with Robert.
Yeah.
And supposedly, like, this is all rumored in the books and stuff.
And
but
apparently,
she was in love with
Peter
Robert.
Lawfer was one of
the one who introduced him.
Yeah.
So this is almost like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But with politics in '60s, and then she died.
Yeah.
And then she died, and
Oh well, let's wrap it up with the girl who was missing. Said she went jogging and said she went.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Sarah, what was her name? Something Pippin.
Pippin. Yeah, something Pippin.
Okay, so the last thing we were going to talk about is
The woman who went jogging.
Okay, so
2016, I believe it was.
right before Thanksgiving, after she'd been gone for like how many months? Like 6 weeks or something,
yeah,
right?
like 6 weeks, yeah.
She had gone jogging. She was a cute mom in like middle California somewhere. And she, nobody knew where she was, pretty blonde. And then the day before Thanksgiving, she was dropped off on the side of the road.
Thanksgiving morning, I heard. Like 4 a.m. Thanksgiving morning.
And she'd been branded. Her beautiful hair had been chopped and shaved.
Well,
She'd
yeah.
been beaten up.
I watched the whole.
So
you told
what-
me to do some research.
So tell
on
me,
this.
since you're more up on it, tell me what
Okay.
you tell us about
Well,
it.
here's some of the. So she goes out. She says she was abducted by 2 Latino women.
Right.
That's what she says. She was gone for 4 or 5 weeks before she showed up. Can't tell you anything about any of the places that she was held captive in or what they looked like. She's got no details about anything. I was blindfolded the entire time. People were like, really, for 5 weeks, you didn't smell something or anything? Nothing. She had no. The branding, they were like, she was branded on her shoulder, which is a place she could obviously do it herself. That's what I had heard. The chopping of the hair, they never saw that. The husband, who they always were a little iffy about, her husband, said her hair had been chopped off. No, they never saw her hair chopped off.
But didn't they see her in the hospital after she was rescued?
No, they said her hair was cut shorter, was not chopped off or torn out of her head, which is what the husband said.
Okay.
She was never a jogger. It was like everyone in the neighborhood said it was literally the first day they'd ever seen her jog. Like they all go on the same trail.
Okay.
They'd never seen her there before. So they were saying it's kind of odd that she got abducted on the first day she'd ever decided to take up running. They found phone texts of a guy in Minneapolis that she was having but also now once again I don't want to come off like some victim shamer here, but there was a lot in her past with like she was cutting herself and blaming
She's
her
a cutter.
mother. She stole money out of her father's bank account. She did something to the sister. So there was some mental issues.
And also, I think there was some like old like Facebook post that was kind of racially a little racist towards Mexicans.
Right. I think there was some of that too. And then they said, once again, going back to GoFundMe, the husband came home and he listened to the 911 call. This is not a guy who's panicked that his wife is missing. It's like, and he goes, I found her phone in the woods, using that app or whatever.
Yeah.
And next to her phone was her headphones, and her hair's torn out in the headphones. Like nobody would notice. It would just seem
no one would
weird.
notice.
Notice.
And then it was immediately like she must be sex trafficked because she's blonde and young.
Right.
She looks like she could be younger than she is. So now the latest thing from the Daily Mail is that some guy is now saying, I was with her during that time.
This is the
Who
guy
this
from
guy?
Minneapolis.
But why is he saying it now? It doesn't. When I read the article, it didn't seem like there was like that
no,
much
and they don't have him in this in the thing I watched either. But I guess they got text messages from the guy, and the guy was in California from Minneapolis that time that she went missing. But they say that he had an alibi for the day she got abducted. So maybe she just, I don't know.
What do you think happened? Just your prediction.
It's 100. I believe 100% that she had an affair with another guy, and probably like that guy who dumped his 2 kids in that oil rig. Like, just wanted to start another life. Like, I'm done with my husband and the 2 kids, and I'm going to start a new life. And then I think after 6 weeks or whatever of this other life was like, nah, I'm going to go back.
And then you think that she contacted the husband and like begged for his forgiveness, and then they came up with this together?
Well, also let me say this: the husband started a GoFundMe.
Oh, geez,
got $50,000 in the GoFundMe, and he said it was to hire private investigators because he didn't feel the cops were doing enough. So he said, "I'm going to hire private investigators with this GoFundMe money." Got $50,000, and they never used it for private investigators. So
and he got it while she was missing, or after she was
missing. So $50,000 while she was missing. So they think there was a little of that too. Like, she could have been down the basement for all that, and let's get $50,000 on a GoFundMe. And honestly,
wow.
I thought $50,000 was actually kind of
that makes more sense to me. That like a husband and wife would be like, we're broke.
Yeah, he was working at Best Buy.
Well,
Not that
let's
that's bad,
do
but
this.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you'd go that long, though. Because you could have done that in like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know that you'd have to go 6 weeks.
I know. That was actually my only red flag. And it might not have been 6 weeks. It might have been 4 weeks. I think it was like right after Halloween, and she came back on Thanksgiving. So whatever that is.
But then some detective or cop said, there's no way this girl harmed herself like this.
Yeah. And the other thing she said, she got into a fight with the captors.
Yeah.
And in the fight, they fucked up her foot really bad. This is what she tells the cops. And then the hospital had no record of her ever having any injuries to her feet. So, although it was very
And then she's just kept a really low profile ever since.
She hasn't even been seen in a year, they said, by the neighborhood. People in the neighborhood hadn't even been seen. So she
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, it was
I
fascinating.
don't know. It could be a few things.
But here's what it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Nobody gets abducted like just by that's what the cop was saying. He's like, first of all, females don't do this to Latino women. It's not. It's mostly men who do this kind of thing. But then there was another person who was in that same area, girl, running, got abducted, never saw her again in the same neighborhood.
But was that something that they were using then? Like, this girl got abducted, so I could be abducted.
Maybe.
Let's use that.
Maybe, So
wow.
It's a good one.
I know.
It's a good one.
Anybody that knows more, I know there's always some juicy scooper that lives in the area that can write me.
But
Please
anytime these things point to something, I always find that she's got some mental issues and had in the past and did some shady shit to her family.
Yeah.
And now this, you're like, well, of course it's fake. I don't know how it wouldn't be.
Right.
Like, nothing about it makes any sense. So.
I always thought there'd be a great movie, and I've said this before, of when I was trying to be a stand-up, that I would go missing one night and I'd leave my Celica with all my headshots and all my VHS tapes in my car.
Uh-huh.
So then I just go missing. I could just go stay at a friend's house after leaving the Improv. I'm in it on a threat. And then it would get all the press, like that blonde Raider girl that got all that press back in the day because she was missing for a while. And it turned out she did that car modeling.
Yes.
And the guy killed her.
Right, yeah.
But for so long, it was on hard copy every night because she was kind of pretty and a Raiderette, and she had a cute mom and she had cute friends.
He said he
so when they didn't know where she was, they were could not stop getting pressed for it.
Angela's Crest Forest. That's where they find them all. That's
Yeah.
where they found her. I remember that.
And so I was like, what, this way they'll be playing some of my stand-up. If some more people could just see some of the stand-up, then I'd be a star,
Yeah.
So then they'd play some of my stand-up, on the hard copy and whatever. They'd show my headshots.
Right.
Where is she? Where is she? And then I would emerge. and say I was like hit on the head, and I woke up 5 days later,
Yeah.
and now I've got meetings. I have a spot at the Improv. I have people think the set's funny, but I wouldn't have wanted to lie and say I was like raped or anything. But I don't think
Yeah.
this girl ever said she was raped
No,
either.
she never said anything like that. She never said anything about the captors, other than they were two Latino women, which everybody found strange.
I get why people want to go missing and get attention and then emerge.
Especially if you have like a mental issues. I think it.
Well,
yeah.
here I don't, but I thought of a whole
Oh.
scenario.
Yeah, but that was you didn't do it.
No, I thought it would be like a good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a good movie, and then all my friends start, they do like a this is before GoFundMe, but we're gonna raise money to find Heather, but they're all just doing it so they can have stage time.
Yeah.
And then they're all like their careers are going on, and I'm like, wait, remember you're supposed to find me. I'm hiding out in this sad
I think you might
apartment.
be onto something. The other thing is, like, you can't use a credit card or anything during these times because they could just easily trace that.
Well, I think you do like a little bit of a Gone Girl thing where if you are in on it, either by yourself or with someone else, then you do have a bag of cash. You do have some
Yeah.
weird place that you can stay.
Right.
You do have a disguise, and you're just hanging out for like 3 or 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
then you do have to hit yourself and, hurt yourself. And that Gone Girl book had also been out before she did this.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I think,
Fascinating. It's a good one.
Chris,
It's the juiciest of the scoops.
absolutely. Where are you going to be next? Any
I'm
place
going to
that-
be in where you just were. I'm going to be at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. House
Love
of
it.
Comedy, November 19th, 20th, and 21st, I believe.
Love it.
Yeah. My podcast is called Cover to Cover, and I have so many juicy scoopers on it.
I know, they all love
I want
it.
more. I would love more.
All right, Chris. Thank
Follow
you.
me on Instagram, please.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just plugging my shit. You
Yeah.
asked.
I know I did.
I promised to never do a hologram of your father.
True.
Ever at a party. If you ever have me at one of your parties, I won't do a hologram of your father.
I'm okay with it. You don't want
I
a
won't put the
hologram.
psoriasis on him. I'll make him psoriasis free.
I hope he's psoriasis free.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It really bothered me. I always had to put cream on his
Yeah.
back and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I really think
And
you
then we
missed
one
it.
time taped him yelling at
Yeah.
one time he was freaking out, and my sister had this tape recorder. She taped him, and we play it back all the time. And it was like, shit, my goddamn skin. Because also it was like he'd bleed like
Yeah.
like doing something, and then oh my god, he'd have be
Did you
bleeding.
guys used to have a tape recorder in the house that you would like sing? When remember you first got the tape recorder,
Yeah.
like play record. You had to hit play record at the same time, and a cassette tape, and you would just sing into it or whatever. You do like shows,
Yeah.
full show. Did you do that? I feel like you'd be the person who do.
We
full
did do stuff like that,
shows.
but like I was like my sister was like the first Kellyanne Conway's daughter that was like recording, so she recorded my dad freak out,
Oh, yeah.
and he was like, "I don't give a rat's ass, shit, my goddamn skin," and we would like die laughing, and then like one day he like caught her like charging people $1 in the neighborhood
to listen to.
to
it.
listen to it.
That's
And then he's like,
amazing.
"That's it." And then later on he goes, "God, I regret," because then he destroyed the tape.
Yeah.
And he later on said that was like his biggest regret
He
to
would've liked it.
destroy the
Yeah.
tape because it was like so fucking funny.
And I
Like,
was making money.
yeah, it was making money. It was so funny. And another
Wow.
thing about answering machines, and I remember that this is an amazing story that you would appreciate. That same sister my older sister had a friend, and they were like total groupies, and they were like always dating guys from like Rat or Motley Crue or
Yeah.
whatever, And so the girl was like dental hygienist or something, or dental assistant, and she told me, she goes, "Oh, every time I go out with a new guy, I put in my compilation answer machine tape." I go, "What's that?" She had gone and taken all the messages of the last 2 years of any like rock and roll guy that she
Wow.
had dated and put it on one tape. And then she'd put that in her answering machine, go out with the new guy, and then they'd walk into the
Come home and
apartment,
play.
and then she'd be like, "Let me see if anyone called me." And it'd be like,
Wow.
"Hey, it's
Hey, it's
Robin.
Tammy down from
Yeah.
Warrant. Just want to. Wow.
Hey, girl. Hey, it's so and so from Rat,
Yeah.
and I want to see how you're doing, baby girl." And then be like, and then the guy would be like, "Wow," and she's like, "Oh, all these guys are just
That's fat. That's feel like a lot of work, but
It
that-
was.
is
I
it-
mean,
yeah, it's a good way to get a guy.
Yeah, she was pretty good with like, working the tape machine, I guess, to like do one compilation tape.
All
All right.
the tape machine.
Love you.
Love you back.
Bye.